Hey guys, Itaewon Sammy here. Hope everyone's doing really well and happy and healthy and safe, okay? Welcome to one of the last videos I'm doing on this visa, jobs, working, living, loving in Korea, okay? This is the last video for January. Yeah, it's the last video for January. I hope everyone's been enjoying their January so far. I am probably getting ready to get on a plane and fly out to Sri Lanka. My last few days in Korea. I'm filming this much earlier. It's like January 9th. I'm filming this and it's going up on January, it's probably going up February. Yeah, I'm probably going to put this up in February. Sorry. So I'll probably be on my way to Sri Lanka. So my next videos are going to be life in Sri Lanka, how to retire. Anyway, this video is what to do if you hate your teaching job. What can you do? If you absolutely hate your teaching job, I want to thank everyone who has been watching, loving, and liking and subscribing to my videos these last few weeks. Just wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm having so much fun helping, and the comments are just great. This is why I'm doing this. People have asked me, Sam, what do I do? Help me. Can you offer any advice? Can you tell me what I could do? So I just want this to be, a helpful thing. And if I'm helping you, please just like, comment, tell me what you like, what you don't like, or what you would like to find out. I promise to answer every comment in my YouTube when it is commented on within 24 hours, okay? Usually I do it right away, depending on the time zone. So, what to do if you really hate your job. You've shown up, you're here in Korea, you got your visa, you're at work, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. This is not what I signed up for. Either, number one, you're homesick, you don't like the food, you don't like the job, it's just not for you, or it's like the worst job you've ever had. You're an experienced teacher and this is like the worst run school and they're not doing things right and they're making you do things you didn't expect and they're violating contract times and making you work other things that you're not supposed to, maybe in violation of immigration, blah, blah, and you want to get out. What can you do? Well, very simply, there isn't much you can do. Okay? Under an E2 visa, you are basically owned by your visa sponsor. They own you in the eyes of immigration. Okay? And here's where I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not shifting blame. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm telling you what the law says. And the law is blind. Law is blind. Okay? It doesn't care about extenuating circumstances. It just cares about the law. And the law is that they control and sponsor your visa. If they're in violation of labor law, that has nothing to do with immigration. Now, if you can prove some things to immigration, they will be, okay, we'll make an exception and switch you to another visa while you look for another job. But you have to have the documentation to prove it. Okay? So, that's the first thing. You really are in a tight spot because number one, they have your pay. Number two, they have your visa. Number three, they're probably giving you a place to live. Okay? Number four, if they don't give you a letter of release, LOR, you cannot get another job and you have to leave the country within 14 days of quitting. Now, there's two things you can do. Three things. You can suck it up and stay and try to work within the system to do your job and get paid and get out. And chalk it up to a learning experience. The second thing you can do is a midnight run, which is where you pack up and you leave and screw everything, right? Just Friday, bye guys, see you later. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. you pack up your stuff and you fly out and you never show up again. You've lost all whatever pay you've made, unless you do it on the 10th after payday, so you've just lost 10 days of pay. And you're blacklisted. You can't come back to Korea. Yeah, that's number 2, what you could do if you really, really hate it. Number 3 is you can negotiate an exit professionally. You can try to quit, offer your notice, and say, listen, unfortunately, it's just not working out. So this is what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to stay and help you find somebody and train them. And then, but that's only if you give me an LOR today. You sign a letter of release and you provide it to them. And we'll date it for 60 days from today or 45 days from today. Okay? Or, you always go lower. You say 30 days from today. They'll say, well, I need 2 months. Say, okay, I'll give you 45 days. I'm not going more than 45 days. So you write it for 45 days. They sign it for 45 days. They sign it and stamp it. They give it to you. And then you work for 45 days. Because they're protected because it doesn't start until the 45th day or 30th day or whatever. Okay? But with that letter of release, you can go to immigration and you can switch to another visa, a job search visa, or in those 45 days, you can apply for another job in Korea for another E2 and just transfer your E2 visa over without having to go through the whole process again outside of Korea. And that is the professional way to do it. Okay? Worst case scenario is you can fight. Okay? You can argue and yell and scream and cry and curse and stress yourself out. Okay? So, let's look at some of the problems that I've seen before. I signed a contract for an after-school program and I was supposed to get paid per day, not per hour. The contract doesn't mention anything about working hours, class times, number of classes, or number of students. And they find out after the fact that because of the number of students dropped, that the pay would be lowered. And that's perfectly legal. Okay? It sucks, but that's perfectly legal. And the person's problem is that they are traveling over an hour just to get there and then an hour back home. But that's what you have to do, in Korea. You have to travel to find jobs that fit your schedule. I was working purely face-to-face before COVID. So I would travel. I would work in one day, I would work 6 hours, but I would travel for 4 hours. But the money was great because I was doing face-to-face. I was making way more than what teachers make, okay? Just to give you a understanding, a salaried teacher, if you divide their salary by the amount of hours they work, works out to be about between 20 to 25,000 won per hour, about 25 bucks an hour. I was making way more than that for my hourly class. So I would teach an adult for $80 to $100 an hour. I would teach 2 hours at a school for $40 or $50 an hour. Okay, so it was because I worked my butt off finding the jobs. But that was really hard because they're not guaranteed, right? Not like a salary. Salary is guaranteed for a year. That's why you get a lower per hour rate. Part-time one-on-one jobs like that, they may last 3 months, they may last 1 month. You never know because there's no guarantee. The contract states they can quit anytime. And if they cancel, you're not working. If they go on vacation, too bad. You can't take another job. You've lost that pay. So the salary goes like this. But again, I went off on a tangent. Squirrel! What do you do if you hate your job? And I said, number 1, you can suck it up and just plow through it. Number 2, you can do a midnight run. Number 3, you can negotiate. You can do it. And let me give you my experience, okay? So the school that I'm working at right now, or just finished up at, was a major franchise. And I started there 2 years ago. I signed my second contract. And when I came on board, I know how to massage an interview. If I can get an interview, I've got the job. I've never lost an interview. Never. If I can get an interview, I've got the job. I'm that good at interviewing because I've been doing it for 35 years. I know how to hit the nail on the head. Number one, I tell them, listen, you want someone who's going to benefit your business because this is not a school, it's a business. I understand that. Okay, and your number one problem is keeping the teacher, making the teacher good enough that you can sell the program to parents. Your job is not HR for me. Your job is selling contracts to kids, to the parents of kids. Okay, so if I can make the kids happy while teaching them English, and they laugh and they go home and the parents say, how was school? How was Sam? Oh, Sam teacher's so funny. He's a funny teacher. Oh, that's great. But did you learn anything? Yes, I learned today that today is Tuesday. It is sunny and I am happy. The parents are, oh, I love it. Okay. Now they will come and talk to you and tell you, oh, Sam teacher's a good teacher. Can I sign my friend's kid to join the school? Now you're happy. Now you keep me happy by giving me a raise. And they laugh and they go, oh, that's so good. You understand. And of course, I did it all in Korean. So, that's the other thing. I have glowing resumes. And the fact that I'm older, and a male, they appreciate it. Okay, so that's how I take advantage of it. So when they during COVID, when they canceled the vacation, I didn't complain. Everybody else did. I didn't. I just went, whatever. What else am I going to do? I can't go on vacation. And if I sit at home, all I'm going to do is order pizza and chicken and play video games all day. I might as well just but I only work part-time, right? So it wasn't a big deal to me to show up. So what? I just had fun with the kids because it was just fun time. We didn't really do lessons. We more so played games. Then they needed somebody because they wanted to make more money. They started Saturday classes. I volunteered, no problem. You're gonna pay me extra? Yeah! And they were paying me well for the 4 hours that I worked. They were paying me like $200 for 4 hours. Loved it. Extra $1,000 a month. Didn't last long because they couldn't find a Korean teacher to do it because nobody wanted to work. I said, I don't know. Anyway, then what happened was contract renewal. I was like, yeah, no raise, just give me this bonus. What I wanted was a flight ticket, right? So, and I helped them. I found them one teacher, and I was always like, and they never came to me and said, Sam, you need to do this. You need to. Never had a complaint. Never had a complaint. Always, my kids were the best behaved. And the owner was always coming by and saying, Sam, how do you keep your kids? Because I treat them like adults. I show them respect and I love them. Always, in the group chat, teachers, please, no cell phones in the class. Don't overly hug your kids or let them sit on your laps or things. Never was that ever anything I ever did. All sorts of things. One class was so bad they had to move them upstairs to be in front of the owner because they were causing so many problems. But anyway, and now with the resignation, with the closure, I am being treated a little bit differently because, I'm a permanent resident, I'm older, I know my rights, and I just told her, listen, this is the way it has to be. I'm sorry, but, tomorrow is payday. If I don't get paid, there'll be problems. There'll be problems. And she knows it. And she's paid me in advance before. When I asked, I needed money on a Friday instead of the Monday. She says, no problem. Just don't tell anybody. And even during the resignation, the termination, she says, did you tell anybody about this? I said, no. I kept it to myself. So that's how you avoid these pitfalls, is you gotta go in understanding the Korean culture. And this is not something that you will understand right away. I've been here 13 years. I understand how Koreans think, how they work, and how you can massage that relationship and that culture and that thing to get what you want. Okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. If you have any questions, if you have any comments or concerns, please comment. I will answer each and every one of them. I will try to help you. Itaewon Sammy, King of Gangnam, Gangnam Sammy, wishing you happy, healthiness, and joy. I'm out!